Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your weekly recap of the markets here on your Northern Ag TV. Well, unfortunately, it was a gut-wrenching day for the cattle complex on Friday as support that was ample throughout the early part of the week changed drastically, and that all came from a technical standpoint. Many traders walked away from the complex completely on Friday's session as they took that as a major profit-taking opportunity. Another factor that played onto those trends was the standoff between the feedlots and the packers as they're trying to resolve itself before the closing of business on Friday. Feedlots knew that they had the futures board on their side and the sharp gains in the box beef prices of that demand to try and find those higher prices for the negotiated sales. Unfortunately, the Friday crash is not going to be very helpful though for the Monday market, as that could set up some turbulent video market for yearling steers on Cattle Country Video's Oregon Trail Classic video happening this week. Now, speaking of the yearling tests, we saw quite a few of those sale barns test out the price discovery of those 8, 9, and 10 weight steer calves this week all over the region. One of the bigger tests that came from Torrington Livestock were the 10 weight steers that ranged 309 to 312, while light 8 weight steers, they averaged 346. The heifers there also saw the 700-pound cowgirls going anywhere from 333 to 339. Another test of yearling steers was witnessed in Great Falls with just over 100 head of those 1,000-pound steers dropping the gavel at 318. Settling up with the sheep markets, finished lambs in Sioux Falls on Wednesday were steady to 5 cents a pound stronger, with the average range in 223 to 232. Coal ewes also saw some strong Sioux Falls markets, with the average on the good to utility ewes anywhere from 98 cents a pound. Now for Pays Livestock on Monday, the feeder lambs saw the decent price test despite ethnic buyers not being in the stands to fill the orders. For the 80-pound feeder lambs, they averaged $219, while 60-pounders, they were at $228 to $240. The two locations did have their differences on the coal ewe prices, with Pays seeing the prices 71 cents to 87 cents a pound, while 650 miles east had their demand about 20 cents higher, as mentioned earlier. Now for the grain markets and the grain futures, well, the markets did look posed to have their late week rally extend into the weekend early on Friday's session, but unfortunately the momentum waned as the session wore on, as traders were likely waiting next week's USDA WASDE report to offer the clues on the price direction through the remaining weeks ahead of the 2025 U.S. harvest. In the markets for Friday, equities also headed higher to round out a back and forth week as investors were weighing the uncertainties of the latest tariff developments while preparing for the upcoming inflation readings. Wheat futures also finished their week nearly at the same point as the previous Friday, while corn futures notched nickel losses in that same 7-day window. Well, that's going to do it for today's Northern Ag TV. We want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, BNSF, and say to you, have a great rest of your day from Northern Ag TV.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.